You just graduated high school. Now what? Seriously, think about it. Think about, for the first time in your life, nobody is giving you a schedule and telling you exactly what you need to do next. You don't have another grade waiting for you. You don't have a teacher telling you what assignment is due next week. You don't have somebody standing over you saying, okay, this is what you're doing tomorrow. Now it's you. And maybe you're excited. Maybe you're scared. Maybe you're sitting there thinking, finally, I'm done with school. Or maybe you're thinking, wait, what am I actually supposed to do now? And honestly, that's completely normal. Because graduating high school doesn't mean you suddenly have your entire life figured out. You're still young. You are still learning who you are, what you're good at, what you enjoy, and honestly, what you don't enjoy. But there is one thing you probably shouldn't do. Don't just sit there and wait for life to figure itself out for you. You don't need to know exactly where you're going yet, but you should start figuring out where you want to go next. And there are a lot of different ways you can do that. Maybe you want to go to college. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're not even sure yet. So let's talk about both. First, if you're thinking about college, that's completely fine. College can be a great path for a lot of people. But here's where things get difficult. What if you want to go to college, but you have absolutely no idea what you want to study? You look at all the different majors and you're like, okay, so what am I supposed to choose? Computer science, business, nursing, engineering, psychology, cybersecurity, accounting, marketing. And suddenly you're expected to make a decision that feels like it's going to determine your entire life. But it doesn't have to feel that way. Start with yourself. What are you actually interested in? What kind of things do you enjoy learning about? Do you like technology? Do you like working with people? Do you like solving problems? Do you enjoy numbers, writing, design, building things, helping people? Maybe you don't even know yet. That's okay too. You can start exploring. You can use tools like ChatGPT to help you brainstorm possible careers based on your interests. But don't just ask AI, what career should I choose? Because you're not a computer program. You're a person. Instead, use it to explore. Ask questions. Research different careers. Look at what people actually do in those careers. Look at what degrees they usually need. Look at the skills employers are asking for. Look at the job opportunities. Look at the salary ranges. And then go beyond AI. Talk to real people. Look at real college programs. Look at the actual courses you'll be taking. Because a career can sound amazing when someone explains it in 30 seconds. And then you look at what the actual job involves and you're like, yeah, maybe not. And that's information you need. You don't want to spend years studying something you never actually wanted to do. And if you already know what you want to study, even better. Use the time before college to prepare. Research the schools you're interested in. Look at tuition. Look for scholarships. Learn about financial aid. Build your resume. Maybe get a part-time job. Maybe find an internship. Maybe start learning something related to your future career before you even step into a college classroom. That way, when you actually start college, you're not walking in completely blind. But here's the thing. Maybe you're listening to all of this and thinking, yeah, college just isn't for me. And that's okay too. But I want you to understand something. Not going to college does not mean you don't need a plan. That's where a lot of people make a mistake. They think their choices are either go to college or do nothing. No. There is a whole world between those two options. You can work. You can learn a trade. You can do an apprenticeship. You can get certifications. You can learn digital skills. You can build a portfolio. You can freelance. You can start a business. You can explore remote work. You can learn skills that companies are actually willing to pay for. And that's where things get really interesting. Because the internet has changed what is possible. You don't necessarily have to live in the same city as the company you work for. You can learn skills from your bedroom. You can build projects from your laptop. You can work with people you've never even met in person. And artificial intelligence has created even more opportunities and completely new types of work. There are people working on AI-related projects, evaluating AI responses, reviewing data, testing systems, creating content, and doing work that wasn't nearly as common just a few years ago. I've personally worked on AI projects where the job involved reviewing AI-generated responses and following very specific quality standards. And I'm not telling you that because I want you to think AI work is easy money. It's not. Projects can end, work can be inconsistent, competition can be high, and you still need to actually know what you're doing. But it taught me something important. There are opportunities out there that you might not even know exist yet. And you don't necessarily discover those opportunities by waiting for somebody to hand them to you. You discover them by learning, trying things, researching, and being willing to say, I've never tried this before. Let me see what it's about. Maybe you try video editing. Maybe you try programming. Maybe you try cybersecurity. Maybe you try graphic design. Maybe you try sales. Maybe you try writing. Maybe you try digital marketing. Maybe you try something completely different. And maybe you hate it. That's okay. You learn something. You learn that isn't for you. Then you try something else. Because sometimes figuring out what you want to do is just as much about discovering what you don't want to do, and don't let social media confuse you. Because you will see videos saying, make $10,000 a month from your laptop. No experience required. Work 2 hours a day. Easy remote job. And you're thinking, oh, I found the answer. Bro, slow down. If making thousands of dollars from your laptop with no skills and almost no effort was that easy, everybody would be doing it. Remote work is real. Making money online is real. But easy money? That's where you need to be careful. Instead of asking, what is the easiest way for me to make money? Ask yourself, what skill can I learn that someone would actually pay me for? That's a much better question. Because skills compound. The more you learn, the better you become. The better you become, the more opportunities you can qualify for. And the more opportunities you have, the more control you have over where your life goes. And here's something else you need to understand. College isn't a guarantee of success, but not going to college isn't a guarantee of failure either. Both statements can be true. You can go to college and build an incredible career. You can go to college and realize you chose the wrong major. You can skip college and build an incredible career. You can skip college and spend years doing nothing. The difference isn't simply whether you went to college, it's what you actually did with the path you chose. Steve Jobs once talked about how you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. And I think that's something a lot of young people need to hear. Because you might be sitting there thinking, I need to know exactly what I'm going to be doing 10 years from now. You don't. You just need to make your next good decision. You don't need to know exactly where every road leads before you take the first step. You need to start exploring. And if you're still completely lost, that's okay. Seriously. You are not behind just because you don't have everything figured out immediately after high school. But don't confuse being unsure with being inactive. There's a difference. You can be unsure and still move forward. Research something. Learn something. Apply somewhere. Talk to someone. Try something new. Take a course. Build something. Get a job. Volunteer. Explore. Do something that gives you more information about yourself than you had yesterday. Because your future probably isn't going to be decided by one huge moment. It's going to be built through hundreds of small decisions. The things you learn, the people you meet, the opportunities you take, the mistakes you make, the skills you develop, the times you decide to keep going even when you don't know exactly where you're going. So if you're watching this because you just graduated high school, take a breath. You don't need to have your entire life figured out. If college is the path you want, research it properly and prepare yourself. If college isn't the path you want, that's okay too. But build another path. Learn something valuable. Develop skills. Find opportunities. And most importantly, don't let uncertainty convince you to do nothing. Because you don't need a perfect plan right now. You just need a direction. And maybe that direction changes later. That's okay. You can change your mind. You can change your career. You can go back to school. You can learn something completely new. Your first decision after high school does not have to define the rest of your life. So, you just graduated high school. Now what? Well, that's really up to you, but whatever you choose, make sure you're actually moving.